This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Was that a fellow Bears fan who you guys just came up and discussed some controversy with fall down, Chicago Bears? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, he just wanted my take. I think he's a gambler. I think he's trying to figure out if he's going to take the over or the under on wins this year.
Oh, what is said total? 3.5?
It was 8.5.
Oh,
same as the Vikings when I was in Vegas 3 weeks ago.
All right. Really?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you that would be possible?
No.
I don't find it to be possible. Ladies and gentlemen, a columnist for the Star Tribune has joined us. He's an elite sports mind, specifically with the world of baseball. He's a columnist for the Star Tribune, and he's ballyhooed. Can we get a witness and a raucous round of applause from the fair congregation for Velle, Neal the Third?
What's up?
What's up? Wobble, wobble. We have the great NFC North Debate coming up about 15 minutes from now, which means the necessary evil of the equation, David Sinykin at TC Head Cheese. Mm-hmm. He'll be here representing everything that is a quarterback throwing off his back foot. Excuse me. He'll represent everything that is green and gold. That's going to be a lot of fun, too. But first, let's tap into the mind of the elite baseball mind before we dive into football hardcore. Do you sense the Minnesota Twins are just begging for the finish line, just like a horse gasping into the final furlong, begging for the finish line so the race is over, we can go back to the barn, get into the feed tub, run around on the pasture for a little bit, chill out, and try again?
There's signs of frustration, getting mad at umpires. Ryan Jeffers got into it with the home plate umpire
yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday early in the game.
And Toronto was swinging yesterday.
Yeah, Rocco got tossed with last week. Rocco's got to work on his engagements with umpires. Ron Gartenhire always told us that as soon as you say you or you're probably going to get run from the game.
All right.
3 times this year, Rocco's been caught on microphone going, "You F this up."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're just starting off on the wrong foot with that one.
Right.
So unless he wants
Well, there's not enough time for the ump, the home plate or wherever to say, "No, I didn't explain." You know what I mean? So it's like, what would the suggestion be? Just temper it?
Just temper a little bit and just what did you see there? And did you ask for help?
There we go.
Like that. I just think it's a process. I didn't like the process here. You should have checked for help on this one because I really think the ball hit the ground and was foul.
Yeah, it's it's circumstantial to a certain extent because of the ownership situation, the mass exodus of players at the trade deadline, all 10 plus of them, and the kids doing the very best they can to a certain extent. But yeah, there are times I follow it and I watch it, and I'm just like, being a racetrack Rays guy, I'm like, this thing is in the final furlong, and it's just begging for the finish line to get this thing over with.
Yeah, they went from being a thoroughbred to Glue Factory Joe here in a matter of weeks.
Holy
here.
cow.
So yeah, it's not good, and they lost 3 of the last 4. They lost to the White Sox in the series, which hasn't happened since 2023.
Now your White Sox are a little sneaky right now.
Yeah, the Twins now have the second worst record in the American League, chugging hard toward that top 5 pick next year in the draft.
Yeah. Your White Sox, from a daily fantasy standpoint and or a spotting up standpoint, are a stay away right now, and here's why. because they go 3 games scoring 1, 2, and 3, and then they score 7, 8, and 9, and then the Smith bit goes 6 with 5 strikeouts, and then the Davis bit gets killed, and then Savali comes in and he goes 5 good ones. They're just so in and out right now.
And some Montgomery guy hits a grand slam against the Twins,
right?
So and then they do these little breakouts. And Luis Robert,
when Robert cares, my man's top 25, top 30 in Major League Baseball when he cares, right?
He has been. He's been in the funk most of the year.
Right.
So it's a matter of kind of escaping that island. They traded Andrew Vaughn to the Brewers, and he was horrible for the White Sox. Andrew Vaughn is like swinging like he's a mini version of Mickey Mantle right now for the Brewers, who are like the most surprising team in baseball.
Predictable as it was, the Paddock bit turned around. I mean, he had a couple of games like, I can breathe. I mean, I have a chance to go to the playoffs.
Yep.
And I got Riley Green over there and something called Torkelson.
Yep.
But he got murdered by the Twins. Then he came back, pitched a good one. Then he got murdered again. So, I mean,
he's a number 5 starter.
You can take umbrage in that, I guess.
Yeah. He lives a life of the number 5 as a number 5 starter. Well, hey,
a number 5 starter in a league that no longer uses 5 starters.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. Everybody's trying to skip over that spot. That's why the Velle plan is to shrink the number of games.
Right.
We got bleepy pitchers that we don't want to start.
Wow.
Have fewer games in the regular season. So get into that 5th spot.
Is it possible for the underlying tone with the Twins until they find this finish line?
Yeah.
And people start thinking about football a little more than they are now. The underlying tone is the ownership situation. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm going to ask it this way, and if I messed it up, correct me. Is it possible for investors to start a television sports network in town, partner with teams, find talent, so fans know where to find their teams, and the baseball team receives requisite funds to help better compete? I mean, is that just like a 1%er out of 100?
For this market, it is. The Yankees have the Yes Network. The Cubs have Marquee. A couple other teams have their own. The Twins tried this years ago with Victory Sports.
But those markets you mentioned have multiple television sports networks.
Yep. But they tried it 20-something years ago with Victory Sports Network, and that flopped after 2 years. So I don't think they've tried to touch that since then. But I don't know if it was a concerted effort in which they banded together with all the local teams to kind of present a Twin Cities network or something like that.
Okay.
TCSN, Twin Cities Sports Network or something like that. You know? I don't know if it got that deep. They tried Victory Sports. It failed, and it has not been revisited since. Should it be? I don't know. The next 2-3 is going to be very interesting, Paul, because at the end of 2027, a bunch of teams in Major League Baseball, their local television deals expire.
Ooh.
And that's when the league wants to take all of them and bundle and sell them out to different platforms. Like, they are so envious of the NBA. NBA just started an 11-year, $77 billion television contract where they're games being shown on NBC, Amazon, and 2 other services.
Peacock.
Yeah, Peacock, yeah. And maybe a little bit of ESPN.
Yeah. And
they're getting $77 billion over the next 11 years. And that's what baseball wants to do.
Okay, but they also can offset it with a salary cap.
Yes.
So therefore,
salary cap is going to lead to.
No, I'm not talking about baseball. I'm saying basketball. Cool. This is great. The $77 billion.
Okay.
But they also have a salary cap and these aprons and the levels and everything. I mean, that's a legitimate factor.
But in NBA though, you could be the 10th player on a roster and you're making $12 million a year.
Right.
You know, it's the greatest gig ever. You can play like 30 games in the season.
It's the greatest gig ever until you end up being bad. And you can't get out of it because you can't spend with the good in baseball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Baseball's the only sport that has a small market and middle market and large market teams. And that's because of the lack of television revenue sharing. Because they only share about 48% of local television revenues. And I think that number needs to be pushed to 100. Because the Dodgers get $300 million a year for their TV deal.
Right.
Their payroll's paid by the TV deal. The Twins got $50 million 3 years ago. And their payroll was like $160 million that year.
Is there any chance that a better or more sizable sharing agreement can ever be had among the owners? Because right now it feels like middle market teams, whether it be the Twins, the Rays are a great example of it, other organizations. I'm just standing behind you talking to you a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was like, where is he?
Yeah, I'm hiding. It feels like I think there's a lot of fan bases that are like, my squad's a feeder system for ultimately what will be either the Dodgers or the Yankees. But if you're the Yankees or the Dodgers, you also say, I do get that. I earn that $300 million because of my market. And so, therefore, the idea of potentially shedding 60, 70, arbitrary percentage numbers here, but in the end, a significant amount of the money that I bring into the league, I got to give that to the Royals?
Well, Dave St. Peter, who just stepped away earlier this year, told me that those conversations were starting at the beginning of the season. That the argument was, we're all in this together. The reason that you're getting $300 million is because you need someone to play.
Correct.
And we're in the house playing you.
Because it's not good for the Dodgers and Yankees long term to constantly have languishing franchises in the league. Because that will cost them in the long run.
Now, the big markets and the agents still want the disparity because they want to sign someone for $700 million or Juan Soto for $800 million or Ohtani for $600 million. Meanwhile, the Twins are moving on from Carlos Correa's $200 million.
Yeah.
So now I'm not trying to let the Twins off the hook saying that it's hopeless because you still can make good baseball decisions despite payroll limitations, but you're limited in terms of how many guys you can retain and pay them a fair wage once they get their 6 years in. But yeah, baseball has to get its financial house in order. It may cost us the 2027 season.
The whole season?
Well, the CBA
Labor
expires
stoppage.
after 26, and the league is sending out signals about we got to get a salary cap. And the Players Association is going to bitch and moan about that, and we're going to have a stalemate.
All right, lastly here, and then we'll get into the first part of the great NFC North debate. What's the long play with Twins ownership? I mean, what's the long play here? Because it just seems like these are people that own a house nobody wants to buy, and they can't sell without giving it away. And there's a car on blocks in the front yard, and the weeds are completely out of control.
Here's the thing. There needs to be some transparency coming from the family now about what the hell the vision is now, just to give the fans an idea of what they're trying to build in the near future.
Describe my old house.
They've got a bunch of young starting pitching inventory now. Are they going to augment it? Are they going to finally get a number 3 hitter? Are they going to get a DH or a first baseman? Are they going to have to cut more payroll? The fans need to be prepared for that because they do a terrible job of messaging and getting their vision articulated properly. Mm-hmm. So once we find out who these limited partners are, maybe we can get a hold Joe Polat's feet to the fire and get them to tell us what the hell's going on. Because the fans got done wrong at the trade deadline. They went from having a strong team to just going haywire in just a matter of 4 or 5 days. Yeah. And now it's a mess on the field right now. And do you really think you can turn this thing around quickly? No, because you don't have a number 3 hitter, dog. You don't have a first baseman that can hit 30 homers, dog. Right. Let's go here. You got to put a requisite team on the field and get after. And you trade your entire bullpen. And I disagree. I was told that putting together the bullpen is probably the easiest of the 3. Putting a bullpen together is hard as hell. The Dodgers have a $300 million payroll on a horse bleep bullpen. Okay, so I can't sit there and take that.
Velle Neal III, columnist for the Star Tribune, also from the South Side of Chicago. So the 3-decade friend of yours truly has been a Bears fan ever since I've known him, and we don't hold it against each other, our proclivity to follow certain teams, but when we get the opportunity to chop it up into a hot microphone and debate about who's best and why in this division, we take that opportunity, and that's going to make up the majority of the middle portion of 9 to noon. When we return, David Sinykin will represent the Green Bay Packers. Velle Neal III, the Bears, yours truly, the Vikings. We'll chat about the division a little bit, some schedules, and some things like that. Then we will get hardcore into the debate, and that's when Mad Producer comes to the Mesh Besher and Spence stands and spend some time with Rube Nation. This is 9 to noon.
KFAN.
Green and Gold shows up in prompt fashion for its season opener against the Motor City Kitties.
Afraid.
At least in fine fettle or better than the representative for the Green Bay Packers in our great NFC North debate, a David Sinykin. We are paging for David Sinykin. David Sinykin, please depart the petting zoo and your aardvark collection and report to Carousel Park to join the great NFC North debate, which actually really doesn't start for about 10, 15 minutes. But as we segue to football, I will include you in something that I was going to include Super Special Cinny from a Packer standpoint. But the goal of this truncated segment is to get the hyperactivity out of us, is to get the clomping out of us so that we're not talking over each other, when we're trying to formulate elite football mind opinions about certain things. What up, Cinny? And maybe, discuss a couple of other teams here momentarily and get some schedule related thoughts. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Here's David Sinykin joining the equation. Super Special Cinny, what's up, brother?
Hey, boys, what's going on?
Good to see you, man.
Good morning, sir.
What do we think? What do we think of the Detroit Lions? They're not going to have representation in the great NFC North debate today, simply because Jason Hatch couldn't make it out here, and that sucks because he was really good last year. But no hard feelings. People have lives outside of 9 to noon. We understand.
Comments lazy.
What do we? Well, no, we don't ask him. What do we think of the Lions, boys?
Well, I'm in the camp that they're taking a step back. They're not winning the North this year. I think the two
not winning the North.
Correct. The two coordinators being gone.
Yep. Because a step back from 15 could be 12.
Yeah,
it is a step back, but not winning the North is a bold proclamation.
Several steps. How's that?
Right.
Several steps.
Mm-hmm.
Ragnow and Zeitler, two big-time interior offensive linemen. They got a rookie playing center, I think.
No, right guard.
Oh, right guard.
Yeah, and I wouldn't call Zeitler big time at that stage of his career, but I get what you're saying.
He's got some miles on him.
So, in other words, you haven't looked at the Lions depth chart in about 3 months.
Not that closely.
That's fantastic.
We got him week 1, too. I probably should start paying
Great idea. Hopefully, Jordan Love's more prepared for the Lions. Anyway.
I thought I was talking about the Pack. Excuse me.
What do we... 3-2. What do we think about the Philadelphia Eagles? David, they won the Super Bowl last year. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. They have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Saquon Barkley had a massive year last year defensively, a couple of Georgia kids, and you're on your own after that. What do we think of the Eagles?
Well, it's interesting. nobody's defended the East in 20 years.
How about that?
There's never been a repeat winner in 20 years.
04 was the last time.
Yes. Yeah, so
Crazy.
Do you believe in Washington? Do you believe in Dallas? I think Philly probably breaks that streak. They did lose some nice defensive pieces. I don't think they just immediately replaced that, and they lost Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator. Right? So I think they're still the team to beat in the NFC, but I'm not. I'm excited. I'm going to be there week, whatever it is, at Lambeau, Monday Night Football. That's my game this year. Eagles, Packers.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Champions coming to town, you say.
Monday Night Football, baby.
What do you think of the Lions and the Eagles, Mr. Wobble?
I think after Eagles, that the conference is wide open. Yeah. That a number of teams. I'm down on the Cowboys. I don't know where this Michael Parsons thing is headed. When is Jerry going to sign or not? Is he going to play or not?
Anybody watching America's Team on Netflix?
No.
I saw it and I didn't look at it.
I've watched 3.5 episodes. It's like a history of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, Jerry Jones, it's a true story, too. It was phenomenal. Where he had a series of good investments, then awful investments. And, I mean, I'm not saying he was going broke. People like that don't go broke, but they get close down to zero. So he finagled his way to $800,000. I think he had to borrow the whole thing. And whatever goes into plotting where oil wells are supposed to be bountiful, he had swung and missed and swung and missed and swung and missed. And then he pumped $800,000, his final $800,000 into one. And about 3 weeks later, he had $100 million. It wouldn't stop spouting oil. And then he bought the Cowboys. So that's kind of like how the genesis of that whole thing. I think you guys would like it, and here's why. Because you're old schoolers. Where, like last night, there was a game. North Turner was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. And they went to Candlestick and played Steve Young and the 49ers, and just the NFL Films footage from back. It's unbelievable how cool that part of it is. A little too much Jerry Jones.
Well, all those swings and misses with the oil stuff prepared him to start drafting Cowboy players. Swing
yeah, but you know what? Along the way, they have found ring cred. And they have found cachet, and not a lot of people or not a lot of teams can say that.
Yep.
So, lastly, from the outside of the Covenant standpoint, what do we think of the Rams? What do we think of the L.A. Rams?
What do we think about Matt Stafford's back?
Right.
Right. I think that's going to be an issue going forward the whole year. He's one hit away. I mean, you're always one hit away. But with him, it's really one hit away. And they're down to backup quarterback. Who is a Rams backup, by the way? Is it Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, or Stetson Bennett.
Oh.
And Stetson has a little he has a little savoir-faire to him, believe it or not.
Right.
Holy cow.
What'd I do?
Got a little flyover, gentlemen.
Something's hovering.
It doesn't sound like a drone either. That sounds like...
I think it's verse 3 from Genesis. The Spirit of God is hovering over us right now.
Get in the chopper.
Okay.
I mean, that was a big old helicopter right there.
No place for it to land over here.
But I mean, the Rams, they have so much young talent in so many key places, and the coach is the bomb, and the running back's good, not great, but he's perfect for what they do. And now they add your guy Devontae, who still runs good routes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the Rams are formidable, boys.
They are.
I'm a big Jared First fan.
Stafford's back is the question because the Niners, you see their schedule. They have the easiest schedule. They have Salah back to run their defense.
They have 5 hurt receivers right now.
Yeah,
like
but I think Jennings is going to start week 1.
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah.
Pearsall's got shot last year. I think he's recovered. Mm-hmm. Niners are the sneaky team to win that division for me. I don't trust Stafford for 4 months to hold up.
Didn't they have Brian Robinson?
They did as a backup.
They recently did.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of your schedules? So, in other words, the way I frame it up is like this in closing, and then Matt, producer, heads out to the stands, and we'll do a little debating. Like I expect the Vikings to start 5-0 or 4-1 at worst.
Of course you would.
Okay, well, find me a loss in the first 5.
Where's the schedule? First,
maybe Bengals.
Maybe.
How about at Chicago week 1?
Okay. Okay.
How about at Chicago week 1?
We'll talk about that.
Right.
Quarterback versus the Bears.
Right. I got my wallet's on me, and that door opens, and we have a break coming up.
I knew I came here for a reason.
But anyway, so if that's my expectation, then that gets you to a bye. Well, out of the bye, they get the Eagles, and then we got Lamar, and then we got Jaden Daniels, and we got this tough bleep division.
Meaty.
So if games 6 on aren't of the hide the children variety, like I think the schedule's super cool. We all play kind of the same teams, but there could be some hide the children terrorism as it goes on with these nice teams. What do you guys think?
And let me point this out: the NFL's not who you play, but when you play them, more so. But of course, at the beginning of the year, the strength of schedule bit is the thing. So, based on last year's winning percentage, the NFC North, the entire division's in the top 8 of toughest schedules in NFL. The Bears and Lions are tied for the second toughest schedule.
Yeah.
So that's because of the AFC North. But
we got fortunate last year, boys, with the old AFC South.
And we get Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Well, you get them overseas. We get them on the road.
Yeah.
We get Baltimore and Cincinnati at home, unlike the Bears.
Yeah.
Right. And
wow.
I'm sorry. And the other thing about this is that the AFC North has to look and go, holy crap, we got to play the NFC North. So
they should.
They're in the same meat grinder, too. So let's see.
Well, I understand that, but we're not doing the State Fair in Berea, Ohio as the Cleveland State Fair. Worried about all AFC North teams and what they have coming. We're looking at our teams for the great NFC North debate.
Yes, we are.
So, how does your schedule, Cindy, what's a tricky part of your schedule? Out of the gate, it's the kiddies out of the gate.
And then Washington 5 days later.
I think you're going to beat the kiddies out of the gate, too, where, you know how I feel about it from Dan Campbell came in there, and it's abundantly clear to me. Step number 1 is those guys over there are done beating us. We're tired of all this embarrassment. Because from that last game at Lambeau that one year, they have an edge against Green Bay. They've been beaten down so badly by that team for so long. Yeah. All the way back to a game they had won as a big dog, and then it's Richard Rodgers, out of nowhere under the cover of darkness. They were just losing games in weird fashion. I'm not saying the whole thing's going to flip this year, but I do believe the coordinator situation and the flux for the Lions is that Green Bay gets Detroit at a good time.
Agree.
And so I think Green Bay will win that game. But, as moving forward, what's a tricky part of your schedule?
Yeah, it opens with those 2 home games against Detroit and Washington, and then they go to Cleveland and Dallas, and then that early Week 5 bye, which is too early.
Right.
Yours is early as well.
Yeah.
It's tricky around Thanksgiving. When they go to Detroit, the Vikings are in there. Baltimore comes to town. The Bears games wrap up late in the season. So for Thanksgiving on is where the Packers schedule gets meaty. So they've got to get out quickly, and preseason they haven't practiced a lot, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're ready to go.
Who hasn't practiced a lot?
Well, the offense. Love hasn't practiced, and
because
came back this
finger
week.
terrorism.
No receivers have practiced basically the entire, and a lot of the offensive line has been held back a little bit.
So that's why LaFleur is backing off Golden in preseason games and a little bit in practice. Because, well, first of all,
he's the only healthy guy.
I think they think he's ready, so we're cool with him.
He's ready.
But these guys will preach faith over fear. But when you're in a situation like that, it's like, wow. I mean, if he nicks something up here, we got real problems. Because Golden has either been practicing at 80%, or they pull him out of part of practice and stuff, and he's totally healthy. It's but I think it's probably being protective.
Did you see the catch he made the other night? 40-yard catch from Willis, where he had to. It was sort of underthrown. They had catch it over the defender. It was a thing of beauty. It shows it's not just speed with him.
His hands are unbelievable.
He's going to be special for this team.
Right. What about your schedule?
It's the end. The end for us. It goes Packers, 49ers, Lions. Now, the Packers and Lions games are at home, but still, it's the Packers and Lions.
Yeah.
And by that time, Caleb may have been beaten up by trying to get Ben Johnson's playbook figured out through year one. So
the Bajan era will have begun by then, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, in Chicago, there's some fans in Chicago going, hey, Tyson looks pretty good, man.
Yeah. McCarthy hasn't thrown a snap in the regular season and throws Mermania.
I know.
So people are like, you know what? Back in the day, there was a Drew Bledsoe, and behind him was a Tom Brady. So it happens in all the markets.
Yeah, it does. But once Bajan signed that 2-year, $10 million deal, they're like, I'm surprised Case Keenum's happy with being a number 3 there. I figured he'd try to get to a place where he'd be a backup. But I guess he's fine being there. But Bajan's look good, though. He's been on time. He's run the huddle well. His throws have been accurate. I mean, he's thrown the ball well. 3 teams from the NFC North made the postseason last year. Personally speaking, I fully expect that to happen again. Let's chop it up with the great NFC North debate. Next segment from the State Fair on KFAN. Ladies and gentlemen, from the fighting city of Mankato, Minnesota, by way of Brooklyn Park and now the West Side No Diggity, he's the producer of 9 to Noon, the creator and executor of the great NFC North debate. Eric Nordquist, can I get a witness? And a raucous round of applause for the producer of 9 to Noon, who's in the fan stands with you.
It's absolutely gorgeous out here, by the way. The best weather we may ever have in our lives at the fair. So, NFC North, great debate as it is. And we don't have Lions representation this year. That is because PA's personal friend Jason Hatch, he actually could be here today, but he didn't want to debate the inevitable. Didn't think it was worth his time. So he won't be joining us today. But let's introduce those that will be debating. And first, representing the Chicago Bears, ladies and gentlemen. He's never met a pole lad he disagreed with. He's unintentionally dressed up as Romeo Crennel for 30 consecutive Halloweens.
Romeo Lavelle.
He cost KFAN about $2,500 for his international phone hits during the 2022 Olympics in Beijing.
That's Guardsy's fault.
Most of which were from his hotel room because he got COVID on the plane ride there.
That's not entirely true.
Known to be a few minutes late from time to time, he taught former coach Matt Eberflus everything he knows about clock management. He swears the Bears are a well-oiled, well-run organization. He knows it when he sees it, covering the Twins for as long as he has, of course.
Brilliant.
A master of tragic literature. He wrote a book about the Twins. And next up, a history of Bears quarterbacks.
Are you done yet?
Not yet.
Pamphlet or something.
He thinks Ben Johnson reminds him of Mark Trestman, which is great for the rest of us. And mention his name at Seville for half-off Tuesday lunch specials.
That's too much.
Velle Neal III, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy cow.
Wobble,
Why'd you have to throw
wobble.
this Seville?
Wow.
And why did Dr. Dio smile at the Seville joke? We'll just use the initials for that one.
Now representing the
Smile, too.
Green Bay Packers.
Thank you.
It's an incredible story of an immigrant surviving the harsh conditions of third world Wisconsin, traversing his way through the barren wasteland of serial killers and shopkos, where he settled in picturesque, tranquil Minnesota, only to poison his new home and community with the bad sports fan ideology he brought with him.
Wow.
As a native Scotty, peeing in bathroom sinks is one of many habits he's had to break while living in the developed world.
Hey.
Overcome by nostalgia, he watched Making a Murderer on Netflix and thought it was cool to see extended family on television. Among his many successful business ventures, he's proud to present and represent a jewelry store juggernaut. Beautiful diamonds galore, which is how he learned that onion rings are indeed just a fatty fried food and not a symbol of love.
Who knew? I didn't know that.
He thinks Jordan Love throwing off his back foot all the time is fine because that's how Aaron did it, who was a gunslinger like Brett, and he'll then spend an hour talking about the glory days of 30 years ago because no Packers fan can live in the present. And like Mike McCarthy, he also skips meetings to get a massage. Although it's important to note, I didn't mean it like that. Just like an actual massage.
I got you.
Yeah.
Can we workshop that one? All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, amazing dude, member of the fan family. It is Dave Sinykin.
In your face, Milwaukee.
You went easy on him.
I love that.
And finally, representing the Minnesota Vikings, host of 9 to Noon. He's gone to the bathroom twice during this very show. Hasn't left the booth. So figure that one out.
Quizinators.
Adult diapers.
He can tell a guy's sitting on a big season based on how much bigger their upper body is into training camp. He watches practices from the sidelines, hair flowing, shoes without socks, as the players are inspired by the team's commitment to charity for the homeless. He tried to buy Ontario Smith's gently used Whizzinator off eBay, but was sadly outbid by user P. Harvin12. He would ultimately settle for Norv Turner's 2014 playbook as it was such a coveted, sophisticated offense. He gets to use Ziggy Wilf's parking spot at the facility when he's out of town, as long as Ziggy doesn't find out about it. And he looks at J.J. McCarthy like it's one of his own kids, which is probably why we haven't had him on the show recently. I mean, he loves this team so much. He cries after losses in the preseason. Even his cat wears a purple collar while he walks around the neighborhood, which taking your cat for a walk is totally normal.
Thank you.
He supports the coaches until they leave. He supports the players until they're cut.
Thank you.
And it's only a matter of time until he owns a horse with Kevin O'Connell's dad. It is indeed voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, ladies and gentlemen.
All righty. That was great. Wonderful introduction. The con.
Is the segment over now? Do we have time for a segment?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
All right, simple enough. Let's rattle off some questions here. I've constructed
after
five.
a 14-win season, I'm not going to need much time.
Talk about living in the past, my
Yeah,
God.
thank you.
Jeez.
I got 5 talkers for each of you here. We'll start with the Bears. And then we'll go round and round and round till we go.
Wait,
Eventually,
we're going from the bottom up?
I believe that's the right path.
Oh, really?
Yes, indeed
Okay.
we are.
Generally, you start with the best.
I thought we had rules of engagement for this. Okay, that's fine.
And do we have poetry coming our way at some point?
You're gonna get a limerick.
I did.
You're gonna get
yeah.
a limerick thrown at you.
Jason Hatch did write a poem for you, gentlemen,
Yeah, I can't wait to
that
hear
I
it.
could maybe produce at the end of this segment. All right, starting with you, Lavelle and the Bears. What do you think Ben Johnson's level of confidence is in Caleb Williams as he takes over the Chicago Bears?
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 6 right now. This is a collision of styles here because Caleb is used to doing things off script. He's used to running around for his life and throwing off his back foot and making crazy plays, which he can do. In practice this year, he's looked best in the 2-minute offense because he can ad-lib. Ben Johnson is a structured offensive guru. He wants guys lined up at this certain spot. He berated Cole Kmet for being 1 yard off his spot during one thing here. So it's going to be a matter of Caleb coming toward the coach and the coach coming toward Caleb for this to work out.
Wobble, wobble.
What if your coach is executing the long con here? I mean, because I brought this up yesterday. partially jokingly. But nevertheless, just think about this. It's 8.5 out of every 10 things you hear from Ben Johnson, coach of the Bears, is this isn't up to snuff and this isn't good. And I talked to this. What if it's elite under the cover of darkness and he's got the long con working
Well,
here?
he was
you know
mad.
what I mean?
He was mad after the last preseason game. He actually sent them back out in the second quarter.
He's always mad
because there was mistakes being made. The plays were getting called. There were false start, pre-snap penalties, and he wanted that cleaned up. So, yeah, if he's a perfectionist and he wants everything at A+ level, and the Bears are operating at a B+ right now, I'll take it.
Okay.
A+ would be historic for you guys.
Or he's just being honest and it's going to be a 4.
Hey, we haven't had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards in the season. Okay,
right?
Familiar with that stat.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Sinykin.
Yeah.
What is your best rehearsed response to those who may want to dismiss or downplay your quarterback?
He's right on target, right on schedule. Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl, his third year as a starter. This is Jordan Love's third year as a starter. He's healthy. He understands the offense. And he he still has the youngest team in the league around him.
Oh, boy.
But he no longer has the youngest set of wide receivers. All those first and second year guys are second and third year guys. They know the offense better. They had the first round pick. They have 2 tight ends and a top 5 running back. Jordan Love is ready to take this offense to levels that will get them to the top of the NFC North this year.
And I respect that.
Thank you.
But Jordan Love in the same conversation as Aaron Rodgers can't take place.
I'm not saying
it just
that.
can't.
I'm just
so
saying
you just did.
Timeline-wise, Aaron wanted to
Great.
third year. They were the 6th seed.
Cole.
They barely got
My man over there at age 59, at age 60, hit the lottery for $75 million.
Wow.
I'm going to be 60 in 6 months. That means my timeline is I'm going to hit the lottery also at 60.
Right.
They're not in the same conversation. He'll never be as good.
Doesn't need to be as good. You don't need to be as good
Okay.
as Aaron Rodgers to win the North this year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Maybe this is the best he's got right now.
Maybe
Understood.
this team will be led by its defense this year.
Right.
Let's get ready for
Yeah,
that.
we've been saying that for a long time here, but this is not about us.
Top 10
I
defense.
just took a
last
shot
year.
at my own team. That's sweet.
To the Vikings, PA, should our optimism in J.J. McCarthy effectively be our trust in Kevin O'Connell?
The answer is yes. And the optimism or pessimism for J.J. McCarthy, you can have it either way right now. We all can, because nobody's seen it in a regular season game. So the belief would have to come back to the reigning coach of the year in Kevin O'Connell, who's won a lot of regular season games. We're having a postseason problem. We only have 2 of them, but it's a problem because they haven't won either one. And they got killed in one of them. So the belief in the super smart coaching staff is just look at the metamorphosis of Sam Darnold and how that whole thing turned around. O'Connell had a ton to do with that. McCarthy will be fine. Patience will be required.
Back to the Bears, Velle. Can adding Dennis Allen as defensive coordinator on its own improve this defense?
It can. The thing with the Bears defense through the years is that they try to rely on the front four getting home and not having to blitz. Dennis Allen likes to blitz, and he's going to be coming from all kinds of different directions. And he's really got the secondary playing at elite level right now in practice. They look fantastic. Jalen Johnson's going to start week 1. Jaquan Brisker's over the concussion problems he's had. Tariq Stevenson has a great camp, and we all know about what he did in Washington last year. I think he's learned from it. And Kyler Gordon's one of the better slot corners. So there's a lot to work with there. My one concern is I don't like Odeyingbo, the other defensive end.
Odeyingbo?
Yeah, opposite of Montez Sweat. But Grady Jackson in the middle of it all. This could be a kick-ass defense this year.
You mentioned it, Cinny. That defense, though. Your defense with Halfle's terrific statistically. 8 guys with at least 3 sacks, created a ton of turnovers. Can your group, Cinny, be even better in 2025?
Yeah, I think second year in the system. Now they kind of understand what Halfle wants to do, and they've got playmakers. Xavier McKinney was an all-pro safety to lead the back end of that defense, and Edgerrin Cooper, the rookie linebacker last year, is already evoking memories of Fred Warner. He's being mentioned in the same breath as Fred Warner. So you add those kind of playmakers with, a couple of pass rushers that have to step up. Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness. That's the key to the Packers' defense. They've got playmakers on every level, but those pass rushers have to get home.
Are we still using Bo Melton at corner?
Yeah, he's actually looked really good.
So it is a full transfer position change.
Yes, he's the 4th cornerback.
Damn. What do you need here, Nords?
How about some main speaker volume here in the Mesh Besher and Spence fan stands? I apologize for the on-air production meeting. It's just
That's okay.
Yeah, far right level.
Thank you. Check. Give it to us. Check.
Oh, you sound terrific. There we
better?
go. Now we are partying,
All right.
my friend.
Thank you.
Cornerback depth, we talked about it earlier in the show. PA, Mekhi Blackmon traded to the Colts. Is it worrisome or simply some preseason hand-wringing before we get to see this front seven go to work?
It's predicated on that front seven protecting. Now, Byron Murphy Jr. can start and play for any team in the NFL. They have a high belief in Isaiah Rodgers. They identified him on the Monday of free agency, the very first day. I mean, they did not want to jack with other teams. They wanted him. They got to be right with the opinion. They were right with Van Ginkel to a certain extent, but a lot of teams wanted Grenard. But Van Ginkel and what he did last year, they hit it out of the park, kind of like the Eagles with Zach Bond. They had a big opinion. They were right. Vikings need to be right with Isaiah Rodgers. I don't trust Jeff Okudah over the long term of a season to be like that corner who locks you down and runs down the field and plays like Deion Sanders or Darrell Green. What I do trust him to do is beat you up at the line of scrimmage, and that's what they're paying him to do.
Is Harry going to be ready?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think he's dealing with an illness.
That's what we've been reading for the last 2 weeks.
Or maybe the illness with old people means that it'll be dicey up to the first game.
Maybe he's just sick of looking at that receiver's depth chart and how thin it is.
That's a very fair point. That's a very fair point, no doubt. Maybe we should take a corner and convert him to a wide receiver.
Yeah, it works.
It's novel like Green Bay.
It works.
Maybe our coach actually will win a challenge. Oh, wait, that's your coach. What is he now, 0 for 11 on challenges in his career? Pretty good.
Let's hit back to the Bears. Speaking of receivers, Velle.
Pretty good.
He's won playoff games.
At least he doesn't throw tantrums. Anyway.
The steam around Rome Odunze has been massive into year two. Velle, what do you think?
Well, I think part of it's because DJ Moore has been somewhat of an enigma. He has not put up super numbers. He's been functional, and everybody sees the upside with Rome. And he's got a great relationship with Williams. Caleb looks for him probably more than DJ. So I think the hype is a little bit overblown, but especially I just been in my second fantasy draft, and Rome's going like in the third round. I'm like, that's a little high, for a number 2 wide receiver on a team in which the quarterback threw for just 3,600 yards last year. That's a little high. So, and plus, Olamide Zaccheaus has been great in camp, and Luther Burden's going to end up being 4th on the depth chart. So there's other guys for Caleb to throw to. Plus, you got Carson Loveland and Cole Kmet, and he's been looking for a tight end more than ever.
Embarrassment of riches.
So in terms of like Rome blowing up this year,
Roshan Johnson.
I can see him getting better. Oh, he sucks. I can see him getting better, but
young guy.
But I can't see him blowing up.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. To the Packers, Cinny. How about Matthew Golden? Every single freaking wide receiver on your team is hurt, except for the rookie. How long into the season before it's so blatantly obvious, maybe it's already there, that Matthew Golden is your best weapon on offense?
Oh, God, here we go.
I don't think I'd call him the best weapon on offense. He'll be the best receiver on the offense. I think Tucker Kraft is going to be a really big weapon on this offense.
Love him.
Josh Jacobs is going to get 300 carries because they have nobody they really trust behind him. But Matthew Golden is going to be a special player on this offense. They are not going to be afraid to throw him out there and throw the ball at him. He will quickly be the most productive wide receiver for this team.
You said similar things about Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, whoever his name is.
Well, that's a 4th rounder. Watson was a 2nd rounder. Golden, did you watch him at Texas? Did you watch him make big plays in big games? He stepped up. He wasn't even supposed to be their best receiver. They couldn't keep him off.
Okay, rookie receiver. Let's see.
He was a poor man Silas Bolden for the Texas Longhorns, and he just had a couple of good games and got overdrafted.
And he couldn't make our team.
Runs a 4.29 as well. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Hey, PA, time for a couple of more here as we wrap up the debate.
We got Bob Motzko over here, coach of the Golden Gophers hockey team. He loves the Vikings and loves the NFC North. I think he's having more fun with this great NFC North debate than anybody in the crowd.
The Vikes may not be top 10 in rushing yards this season, but can they be top 10 in yards per carry? They averaged 4.1 a year ago. That would mean they add half a yard per carry. 4.6 would put them into the top 10 if we were going off of last year's stats.
Yep.
Can we do that adding Mason to the mix?
Adding Mason to the mix matters for sure, but the interior of the offensive line is what's going to pave the way for that with Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, and Will Fries, but that plays into a fair narrative for the Minnesota Vikings in that their biggest free agent splashes missed a combined, 40 games, 30-some-odd games last year. Now, I don't know if the freakish nature of the injury means recurrence is like a super long shot, But nevertheless, that's who they are. Ryan Kelly's played 10 years. Fries is approaching the second half of his career. Hargrave was lights out, and then he got hurt. So they got to keep these guys healthy. If they can keep these guys healthy, then yes, the running game should have more potency.
All right, let's put a bow on this thing here. Each of you will start with the Bears as we start from the bottom. Just plead your case. And in your case, Velle, a 5-win team a year ago, if you believe they're even a middling team, they go from 5 to 8, 5 to 9, that would mean they're one of the most improved teams in the league this year. Make your final case.
Well, in 2017, the Bears won 5 games. In 2018, I think it was 2018, they traded for Khalil Mack and won 12. So they improved by 7 games in one season.
And this year it's O'Dangle.
So it can be done in NFL. All right. Just the fact that Matt Eberflus has been fired, the Bears are already a better team because he was responsible for 4 losses last year. But I get that the Ben Johnson offense is going to be a work in progress. But still, we have a solid defense, and we got pieces on offense. And the Bears should win, I think, right around 8 or 9 games this year. So I am betting on a 4-game improvement from a year ago.
But not winning the division.
No, you can't.
Right.
You can't win this division.
I got you.
The case was how much better the Bears are going to
Yeah.
be. The case wasn't make your case for winning the division.
Got you.
I would need pleurisy and other illnesses to strike the other 3 teams in the division for the Bears to have a chance.
Pleurisy is that.
Hey, Jason Hatch, or our Lions representative, is not here. What's the poem or the limerick that he wrote? Simply because I feel the division champion in some way or form should have representation.
That's fair.
And he was nice enough to send it to us. What did the Lions fan happen to share?
Let's see what he wrote here. All right, bear with me. Family and work got in the way in 2025. Coming at you with rhymes instead of showing up live. Love you fools, and I know you'll bring up losing Glenn and Ben. But Morton, Shepard, and Shaw still make that staff a lion's den.
Yeah.
Losing Ragnow hurts. Now, I'm not going to lie, but Glasgow's a plus starter. And y'all's interior D-line's soft as 10-ply.
Who's y'all's?
Dan Campbell's still here and still the leader of the Pride, running on caffeine in Copenhagen. Your coach is still terrified. Sounds good. Goff, Amon-Ra, Laporta, and Gibbs. Offense taking a step back. That ain't nothing but fibs. Hutch is back too. Defensive MVP is what he'll be. We won 15 games last year, and Velle almost started on our D. Like it or not, we're still the team to beat. Our roster is so good. Watch out for that three-peat. So that's courtesy of Lions fan Jason Hatch.
Round of applause.
That's not bad.
Can't be here.
Little poetry.
He's fantastic. His team's the best in the division. And Covenant claps are the least we can do.
DeCinni, make your case. Now we're talking to teams that could actually win the division.
Yeah, 11-win operation last year. The only team in the division that's not either dealing with a new quarterback or new coordinators.
Fair.
Continuity is the name of the game with the Pack. Last year, we were worried about the edges. When you're as good as Green Bay, you look at the edges. Did we have a kicker? Did we have a backup quarterback? Green Bay has a really good kicker in Brandon McManus. They've got a suitable backup in Malik Willis. He proved himself last year. So now it's about the defense stepping up in the second year under Hafley with some young playmakers, and it's about their young quarterback who's making $50 million a year, who a lot of people are doubting, going to step up in his third year and take ownership of this offense with the most talented playmakers around him. This team is not winning one division game like it did a year ago. And if it wins 3, that makes it a 13-win operation. The Packers aren't winning the North in 25.
Preach.
You're the only team that lost to the Bears in the division.
Is Lambeau Field.
We were just giving you a little bone to play with.
First year without A-Rod, and they have the audacity to lose to the Bears, which they never did with Rodgers.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. How about that?
The autumn wind is a Packer.
Yeah, so stop comparing love to Rodgers.
What up? My case for the Minnesota Vikings. Do I really need to state this case? I mean, we have the reigning coach of the year. We have the best defense in the NFC North. We have Justin Jefferson. We have a first-round quarterback being guided by the reigning coach of the year. The Minnesota Moving Company has become fortified from Darisaw over to O'Neal. And if they keep the right components healthy, they should have a very, very good chance of winning the division. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, I'm God's cartoon character. Okay, I'm designed to make you smile and make you laugh and take distraction out of your hearts and your lives. But I also, let's be straight. And I've said at 9 to noon, whether Vikings fans want to hear it or not, to whom much is given, much is expected. There are a lot of bouquets thrown around that facility. There's a lot of money that's gone to the coaches and to the personnel people and to the general manager. To whom much is given, much is expected. I don't care what you face this year, and that includes losing McCarthy. You are to make the playoffs, and you are to win a playoff game at least. We got to win a playoff game around here, okay? It's starting to piss a lot of us off, and I know it frustrates them inside the building. So for the sake of the great NFC North debate, yes, the Minnesota Vikings have a Super Bowl caliber team. But there are others that have Super Bowl caliber teams too. And it's time to close on the deal with those who are making all the money, saying Jefferson's the best overall receiver in the NFL, blindly trusting McCarthy, fortifying the moving company, and putting all this money into defense. That's great. That's fantastic. Win a freaking playoff game, man. I'm sick of it, and you're sick of it. I don't care about the division. Win a game, man. Let's get us a playoff victory or two, and let's move forward that way. And then we can maybe do the great Super Bowl 61 debate with like a Chiefs fan or a Ravens fan or Joe Burrow fan club.
I'll be here for that.
Right, not with that quarterback you won't.
Okay.
So that's what I think when it comes to a debate. There is no debate. It's right there in front of you. Go take it.
Championship defense.
Nice job, Nords.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, God bless all you guys. Cindy, Wobble, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, folks.
Bob Motzko, coach of the Golden Gophers hockey team, joins us next.